Okay folks, this will be an interesting one. I just got this one from an op shop. Yeah folks, I don't feel like today's demos have been any good, folks, so far. I have done a few good ones, I just can't remember them, folks. Just feel like I haven't been pushing it as hard as I should. Although they're just not easy ones to do, whatever. Anyway, we've got an interesting one. It is a miniature handbag, I do think. And it's got all this lurex finish on there, which we're interested in. So we're just going to put it up here, enlarge it 400%. But I do get days like this quite a bit, folks. It's not always easy. I wouldn't be, if everything worked out every day, folks, I'd end up looking more like a robot than a human, like a copytron. Although Copytron was a nickname I coined for myself when I was young, when I was still in high school, or was it when I left high school, perhaps, but that looked really quite nice. But I called myself Copytron, and that was one of my own self-made nicknames, Copytron. So I called myself that name. I figured it was an appropriate name for a person that just loved photocopiers. I think that was back in 1988, I think was when I coined that name for myself, or was it 1987? Because there were coin boxes on the old library machines, and they had the word Copytron on them. Mars Electronics Copytron. That's where I got the inspiration for that nickname. Was from those coin boxes on the sides of the old photocopiers back in Chatswood Library back then. That would have been back in 1987. I think that was when I gave myself that name, because that was when I first visited Chatswood with my brother and his mate and his friend. We went to the library there, and it was a really funny time. It was exciting to discover a place. Chatswood had heaps of photocopiers back then, and I used to call it copier land, or photocopier land, because there was just so many of them in their shops, and as well as the library. But you can't say that much for it now. There's not that many self-service photocopiers anymore in Chatswood. You still got the library. Although the library has moved twice since those days back then. But I'll always remember that place, Chatswood Library, as a way of me learning about photocopiers and shit like that. I'm just wondering where the centre of this job really is going to be. But basically they were the good old days when a new photocopier was bristling with new features instead of this shit we have today, where nothing changes except the physical side of things, pretty much. Anyway, that looks quite interesting. I think now we can call this demo quits.